Hey everybody, Greg Milby, community storyteller for Kentucky's Heartlands. Jared Eaton right here. He is with the Hardin County Playhouse, upcoming production of Almost Maine. And it's almost time.
It is almost time. We are just about a week shy of opening. So depending upon when this airs, as of recording, we are almost exactly a week from opening day.
Yeah, well, actually, you will be a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll turn this around pretty quick.
Fantastic, fantastic.
So we are front row Joes right now at the ECTC Science Auditorium, which is the home of the Hardin County Playhouse and Almost Maine. So talk about this production, because it's a little different. There's multiple plays in one, right?
It is considerably different. Most of the time, when an audience comes to see a show, they expect a story from A to Z, beginning to end, one overall story with subplots, multiple characters coming in and out, things like that. This show is A to B to C to D. Like every scene is different characters with different actors. So over the course of the runtime of the show, which hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, plus a 15-minute intermission, over the course of that time, you're going to see 9 stories. And each story has different characters, different actors in it. So it gives a lot of our community a real chance to shine, because their scene is 15-ish minutes, but it gives them a lot of time to work on that, to hone their craft and make sure they're very proud of that product.
Okay, and is each one drastically different than the other?
They're pretty considerably different. Each of them is centered around the themes of love and relationships. So a lot of these are going to be people who maybe have never met before that are meeting up, and maybe there's a spark between them. Or maybe it's some characters sharing a first kiss, or maybe it's a couple characters who've been together a long time trying to decide what comes next, with all the confusion and the things that can ensue upon that, especially if one of them is willing to talk about the relationship. Maybe the other one's a little afraid to talk about the relationship. And maybe a couple of the stories don't end so happily, because sometimes relationships can be messy and complicated and challenging, and that reality is displayed here as well.
Huh. Now, we have a venue like the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, the PAC, and the size of that venue, and when you do a show there, it's one way. Yeah. But I've been to multiple shows here in the ECTC Science Auditorium, and it is so intimate, because, I don't know how many seats we have here, but you are almost in the show yourself.
100%. And again, this show lends itself to that very well because of the intimacy of the theming. There is a lot of intimacy with the characters and the reality and the truth they're going through. So it really is like, in some of these scenes, you've walked into someone's home, or perhaps when you're watching this, it'll feel like someone's walked into yours. Because like I said, some of the dialogue here, some of the things these people are saying and they're dealing with, our audiences are really going to resonate with it. It's going to seem very familiar. I directed this show once before when I was working at Meade County High School with my teenagers, and there's one scene in particular in Act 2, and I had multiple people coming up and being like, that was hard for me to watch because it was so real and so authentic.
Okay.
And we've got some real talent here, and I think our audiences are going to experience that authenticity. And yeah, and this venue in particular is intimate. We're not doing a ton of setting. We're not doing a ton of fancy tricks with tech. It's really just nearly a bare stage, maybe a set piece, maybe a few props, and the actors. And you're going to be drawn in by their performances, by the dialogue, by the honesty.
Yeah, and let's talk about the actors. Now, I might be fond of one of those.
I can't imagine.
My youngest son, but having been to a lot of productions, we have so many talented kids. So if in adults, so if you're watching here at Kentucky's Heartland and you've not been to a production, why should they come?
You think of the most talented performers. You think of Broadway. You think of Broadway Louisville coming through. We've got great talent. And we do shows here in Elizabethtown that in many ways are able to rival some of those productions. Not budget-wise.
Right.
Not budget-wise, but the talent we've got here is pretty incredible for the community we have. For the arts have been really nicely supported here. The place like the PAC you mentioned earlier, what we can do in that space is incredible. And the performers, even in this smaller space, are PAC performers. Like, they're the same caliber of performer you're going to see there. These are people who've been honing their craft for a long time. You talk about Garrett. I've known Garrett since, I think he was in 6th grade. He's a senior now, getting ready to graduate high school.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
That's fair, that's fair. But I've gotten to see his growth over the years with youth theater, with Central Hardin performances. And so I get to step up to these people who've been growing, Savannah Weber, many of these other kids. We have a significant number of Central Hardin alumni in this show, or faculty in this show. So you get to see these people that you've seen in maybe various capacities on various stages, but not like this. If you've seen Garrett on stage, he is a high-energy performer.
Yeah.
He brings charisma. He brings a lot of enthusiasm and zeal to his characters. This is a different character.
I get that show every day at home.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But no matter if you've seen a show in Elizabethtown, if you've seen a show in Hardin County, you've seen these performers.
Oh, yeah,
You
and-
know what they can do, and
And I've watched them grow and how their craft has been molded.
Yeah.
So people coming out, you've got shows opening on Thursday night,
yep,
the
Thursday
22nd,
it's the 21st.
21st, and then the 22nd on Friday,
Uh-huh.
and then there's a Saturday show and Sunday show
Correct,
that
yeah.
weekend. The following weekend, it is a,
Thursday through Saturday, because
Right.
that Sunday is Easter.
right. So ticket prices, what are those?
That's a great question
Okay.
that I wish I knew the answer to.
And we'll put it on the screen. Since we don't
Absolutely.
know the answer,
I know you gotta-
we can magically make that
That's
happen on the
wonderful.
screen.
Because I am a guest director for the Hardin County Playhouse, so I've done theater with them before in the past, but I am not on their board or one of their people. I can tell you if you want tickets, go to hardincountyplayhouse.ticketleap.com, I believe.
Yeah, and that's
is how you get
magically gonna be
tickets,
on
and
the
there's
screen
a phone number
right
is
now.
also there, I guarantee it, that you can call
Right now?
to get tickets as well, and they'll answer questions like those detail-oriented ones.
Right, and it doesn't matter what the price is. Get the ticket.
It's
Just buy
worth
the
it.
ticket.
It's
Come
worth it.
out.
I made a little director's note. My girlfriend put together our program, which is lovely and includes actor bios, which is not something you always get at performances like these. And as I was writing the director's note, I was talking about a lot of times when you come see a show, you sit in the seat and you laugh or you cry or you think and you go home and the show stays where you left it. I don't think this is that show. I think this is a show where when you leave, you're going to be thinking still, thinking about characters, thinking about performances, thinking about jokes, thinking about moments, thinking about tears. I think this is a show that's going to stick with you. So I think that price tag, you're getting your money's worth with this one.
Oh yeah, and again, the price tag and the dates on the screen right now. You know, we're just sitting here talking.
Absolutely.
You could tell we didn't prep this interview. We just sat down and went, didn't we?
Just roll.
Yeah, that's how it
Roll the
rolls.
punches.
All right, well, congratulations. I can already tell this is going to be a phenomenal production. And you may end up being forced to come back and do some more.
We'll see. If I can have the same talented crew and the talented cast, it'd be hard to say no to that.
He's the director of Almost Maine, which confused me because I've been to Maine. Is there an I don't know. But yeah, Hardin County Playhouse production happening here at the ECTC Science Auditorium. Get those tickets while they're available. Again, in intimate seating. Hopefully we'll sell this thing out. So
Fantastic.
definitely love to have you here. I feel weird with my hands because I don't have popcorn. I'm on the front row. But nonetheless, he's Jared. I'm Greg. This is Kentucky's Heartland. Thanks for watching.